Hello and welcome back to TNN's coverage of the world's 9 best fantasy football players league. I'm your host, and this is what we have for you this week. Week 9 games made the playoff race a little tighter, with several teams in the playoffs losing their games. To recap, we send it out to the West Coast with Tommy Bahama. And thank you, Tommy Bahama. And now we have some breaking news into TNN. COVID has hit the league. We send it out to South Bend for an update on this news. And thank you, Joe, for that update. Wishing Joe all the best and a quick recovery. And now, here is Danny Football with his predictions for Week 10. Hey, what's up, guys? The world's 9 best fantasy football players expert, Danny Football here, back with another week of expert predictions. Pretty solid week for me last time, going 4-2, moving my total on the year to 33 and 21. My guests, Tom, honestly, pretty bad week, 1-5. Not what you love to see, but then again, it is pretty hard to beat this expert. And hopefully, we'll be able to get him back on the show at some point, hopefully to redeem himself. Now, it's a new week, there's a new guest, and a new chance to beat the expert. So guests, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you very much for having me. It's Brett, live from my mom's basement. I've been crunching the numbers down here all week. I am glad to make my debut as a guest picker for Week 10. Starting to get into the nitty-gritty, and it's almost playoff time.
It is almost playoff time. 4 weeks left before the playoffs. All right, in our first matchup, we have 10th Av Touchdown taking on the Tex Arcana Bandits. 10th Ave, currently favored in this one, 92% chance to win. Brett, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I think that Tom's team, 10th Ave Touchdown, is going to bring this one home. On Grayson's side, not having Zeke and Julio playing this week, as they are both on a bye, will be a big issue for him. And I still just don't have much faith in the Bandits' defense. I don't think Grayson has much faith in the Bandits' defense either. And he has not been doing a good job either as a general manager, trying to get rid of his players on the trade block. I think we could be having a Bill O'Brien situation out with Grayson. So we've got to see whether or not he's going to look to fire himself from one of his 2 roles. So I've got Tom taking this one down this week.
A lot of good points there. Bill O'Brien comparison, tough, shots fired at Grayson. And honestly, though, I think the projection in this one is off. Fans of the show are going to know I am high on the Bandits. And the fact that they're given an 8% chance to win is just criminal. It should be a 0% chance to win. James Conner and Will Fuller currently factored into these projections. We all know they're going to be gone by the time this game rolls around. Recent trade with team M. Vanek. Going to leave the Bandits with 2 big holes in their starting lineup. They really don't have anybody to plug in there. I think they're going to be a lot lower than their projections. Bandits clearly trying to plan for the future. Hopefully it works out for them, but I think they're going to start on that path on the right foot here with a loss. 10th Ave, easily lock this one in. Next up, we have Too Many Cooks taking on Ham and Throw. Too Many Cooks favored here, 71%. Ham and Throw coming into this one after a brutal showing last week, not even cracking 130 points. Just consistently bad. But it looks like their injuries are mostly behind them. Aaron Jones, Michael Thomas back playing in games. On the other hand, Too Many Cooks have some big question marks coming into this one. For one, Patrick Mahomes on a bye. They'll have to roll with Teddy Bridgewater against Tampa. Tough defense. Also, some uncertainty around Mixon. And if Nick Chubb comes back, Kareem Hunt's going to take a big hit for Too Many Cooks. You know, I might surprise some people with this pick, but I have to do it. Ham and Throw. To lose this week. I still think your team is terrible. Lock in. Too many cooks here.
Yeah, I think the big story around this matchup this week is the COVID issues that the too many cooks are dealing with. I don't know if we're gonna have a Nick Saban situation on the sideline for Coach Joe this weekend, but it's definitely something that we need to keep an eye out heading in to this week. And I actually do think that Teddy Bridgewater is going to have a solid game without Christian McCaffrey. I think they're going to be playing from behind. I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. I like this game to have a lot of points, and I think that you're going to see good fantasy performances out of both the Panthers players and the Bucs players this week. And then as for Ham and Throw, Visconti, you really do have to appreciate that he is paying homage to Bill Belichick by having no clue how to tank and no clue how to contend for a championship. I think that he's going to finish right around 500 this year, but I actually do have him pulling out the win this week. I think that his running back and wide receiver slots are going to provide him with a lot of points. I like the matchup for Aaron Jones this week. I like the matchup for Devin Singletary this week. Mike Evans and Mike Thomas if he doesn't punch anyone in the face during practice. So I am actually going to take Visconti's team to win, but I've got them as solidly the best team in the toilet bowl when the regular season is done shaken out.
Not a great place to be. Not a great place to be. Moving on, we have Team M. Vanek taking on the Harry Snotters. Team M. Vanek favored here, 83% chance to win. Who do you like in this matchup?
Well, I like M. Vanek. The Harry Snotters, notoriously a very corrupt team. No Christian McCaffrey most likely this week, which will definitely hurt Timmy and his team. I can't believe that he still allows Harrison Smith, the dirtiest player in the NFL, to continue to start for his team week in and week out. And I think that Vanek's team is actually very good. They have the most points in the league, and I think Carson Wentz is actually going to have a great game against Timmy's favorite football team, the New York Giants. But I think the big problem for Vanek this week is going to be that Dalvin Cook is not going to score a billion points. I think the Bears defense is going to shut him down to a certain extent, as provided that the defense for the Bears doesn't have to be on the field for 45 minutes of the game. And then you just also have to factor in the Timmy Voodoo magic, under 1,500 points against on the season, and I just see that continuing to drive the Harry Snotters to a phony 8-2 record. I've got the Harry Snotters in this one.
Wow. I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. Team M. Vanek, they're coming in this one kind of hot. Although they're 4-5, this is the highest scoring team in the league, and they just added 2 more weapons, James Conner, Will Fuller. Do they win this trade in the long run? Probably not. It depends on who Grayson and the Bandits draft, but if they make the push this year, make it into the playoffs, I think it's going to be worth it. And I think that they're going to start putting themselves into playoff contention with a win this week against the Harry Snotters. Next up, we have undefeated, never lost, facing off against the mental brick walls. Undefeated, never lost, currently favored here at a 57% chance to win. Both teams looking to turn it around after a loss last week. Undefeated, never lost, truly cannot live up to the name anymore, with offensive coordinator Danny Stortz picking up his first loss last week. Brick walls, Big Ben possibly going to be out this week on the COVID list. I know they just made the recent QB addition there. If they can't go, they're going to have to stream some terrible player like Nick Foles. Also, they're going to get a big boost from McCaffrey being out this week. Mike Davis. Going to have a big question at the running back spot, but luckily things panned out for them there. But really, Miguel's team looking kind of nice. I don't like saying it. I still don't think they're a good team, but I kind of like where they're at right now. And for that reason, I have to go with undefeated, never lost in this one.
I can't fault you for that pick. A very lazy week out of the general manager of the mental brick walls. Saw the Big Ben COVID news back on like Sunday or Monday. Didn't do anything to rectify it, and then today just checked out the roster and realized that basically I can only pick up Taysom Hill and Nick Foles as my options as backup also on a bye with Sam Darnold. My tight ends are also horrific. It's another big issue. I did have to get rid of Cordell Patterson. It was sad to see him go. Matt Nagy giving him 25 touches a game didn't work, but it was certainly something exciting for fantasy owners. I'm just going to go, though, on the fact that undefeated, never lost. The team name is a jinx. I think Joe Burrow is going to have a horrific game against the Steelers. And I think that my defense, somehow I'm going to look on Sunday afternoon and we're going to have scored 115 points on defense. Something that I wish that the Bears defense was allowed to do on Sundays as well. And I can't pick against myself here. So I think the mental brick walls, this is going to be a big week where they have to dig deep, really look themselves in the mirror, and live up to the team name. And I think we're going to pick up this win. But the big storyline I think that nobody is talking about right now is that the mental brick walls are in first place in the imposter division, and that based on the league rules, there may be bias to the imposter division because I'm currently the number 2 seed in the playoffs with a bye, even though I'm not the second best team in the league. I do want to put it out there on the record that this league is fraudulent, and I will be playing under protest if the rules are changed mid-season for seeding purposes.
All right. Protest potentially incoming. Next up, we have Bro Chill. It's just Njoku going against Team Big Chungus 22. Bro Chill, it's just Njoku, currently favored here, 94% chance to win. Brett, who do you like here?
Yeah, this is the game that I did the least amount of research for. I'll be upfront about that. But I just think Big Chungus is missing the entire Chiefs team. I think that's going to be a big problem for him to overcome this week. And I don't know how focused he's going to be with the Masters kicking off on Thursday. So you really got to wonder whether or not the coach is going to be in the right mind frame. And I think that Bro Chill actually has a very solid team. And I like Josh Allen to score like 1 billion points this weekend. So I'm going to take Bro Chill, but not with too much confidence.
Yeah, I agree with you here. This is also the one I did the least research on. Genuinely, I just do not have a lot to say for this matchup. Haven't really liked Team Big Chungus all year. Going to be without Tyreek Hill, Chiefs on a bye. They did fight back a surging, undefeated, never lost last week, but I really just don't see how they get it done this week. I mean, Nooch, big favorite, 94% chance. That's with Big Chungus not really having any holes in their starting lineup. Miles Sanders comes back. It'll help a little bit, but I really don't think that's going to be enough to put Big Chungus over the edge. Got to go with Bro Chill. It's just Njoku in this one. And finally, our marquee matchup of the week, the Lock'em Sock'em Robots taking on In It, Tua, Win It. Robots currently favored at a 62% chance to win. Both of these teams jockeying for playoff positioning right now. Robots have some injuries to manage in this one, especially at the running back position. Nick Chubb could possibly be coming back this week, and David Montgomery's concussion for a Monday night game is sure to be giving Commissioner Tooch a lot of headaches. In It, Tua, Win It, coming into this one, a little bit of a slide. They're going to be without Amari Cooper, possibly Chris Carson. The real position to watch here is the quarterback spot. Owner Jacob has cost himself a win the past 2 weeks by playing the wrong quarterback when choosing between Tom Brady and Tua. Will he catch another win this week, or will it slip through his fingers yet again? At the end of the day, In It, Tua, Win It has not been inspiring this expert recently, and until they turn things around, it's going to be really hard to pick them. I do not feel confident. I have to go with the Robots, although I will say I don't like their potential running back problems. I think this one's going to be really close, but I got to give the edge to the Robots here.
I think this is a fascinating matchup. I'm very happy that this is the marquee game of the week. I think there's great storylines on both sides. For In It, Tua, Win It, the controversy in the QB room cannot be overstated. You really have to wonder if the decision that Commissioner or that Jacob makes is just going to directly impact the outcome of those football games. A massive matchup Sunday afternoon between Tua and Herbert. and then a good-looking matchup for Tom Brady as well to put up a lot of points. But you would have to think that if he gets put in the starting lineup, that he's just going to have a bad game. But my big problem here in this game is for Lock'em Sock'em Robots and how much that he's going to have to rely on Matt Nagy being a competent football coach. You got to think that David Montgomery coming back from concussion on a Monday night would mean that Nagy will find a way to give the ball to Cordero Patterson even more. And possibly just as a big FU to Tooch, I think that Coach Jacob could start Darnell Mooney and watch him get double the amount of targets as Allen Robinson because, again, Matt Nagy is an idiot. And then the real X factor in this matchup, you say it with Timmy every year, you got to say it with Jacob every year. Somehow nobody scores points against them. The only other team in the league with under 1,500 points against. This is one of those games where I'm just purely picking on historical basis because I think the Lock'em Sock'em Robots are a better team, but I think In It to Win It finds some kind of way to win a bogus matchup, so I'm going to take them to win this one.
Well, Brett, thank you so much for being on the show this week. I wish you all the best with your picks. Of course, not as good as me. Can't beat the expert. But again, thank you for being on. Hopefully, we'll be able to get you back on the show again at some point.
Thank you for having me. I do want to bring up something. I think that we need to bring more accountability into the guest picker role. It's a put up or shut up week for me. And I guarantee a winning week from me in my picks that I will go 4-2 or better. And I also guarantee that for every single loss that I will take one shot of alcohol and there will be video of me being miserable if my picks were wrong as part of the preview for next week.
I like it. Bold. Only 2 pickers so far have gone over 500. So I like the boldness there.
Yeah, got to go with it. Big weekend. Hopefully Bryson DeChambeau doesn't win the Masters. Hopefully I am not stuck on Sunday night taking 6 shots.
Thank you, Danny Football and guest Brett, for those great predictions. That's all we have for you this time. Be sure to come back next week. I'm your host, and this has been TNN.